Good evening, everyone. We are going to analyze the film The Unsaid, and we are going to find out what is Oedipal complex and its relation to the cultural formation of men.
Psychiatrist Michael Hunter and his wife are watching their daughter Shelley's school play. Their son Kyle, who is suffering from depression, stays at home because he cannot stand being among people, as he says. While the parents are applauding Shelley, Kyle commits suicide in his family's garage. Several years later, the family has fallen apart because of their loss. Michael retreats, writes books, holds speeches for university students, but he no longer treats patients. When his former student Barbara Wagner approaches him asking for help with a case, he initially refuses, but then gives in to taking over the case of 17-year-old Thomas "Tommy" Caffey, who have had to watch his father murder his mother. It is Michael's job to decide if the teenager can leave the psychiatric facility when he turns 18. But while working with Tommy, Michael realizes how much the boy reminds him of his own son, Kyle, and feelings of guilt arise in the psychologist. Michael had his son see a therapist, an old university friend named Harry Kinlan, instead of taking medication. In his son's suicide letter, Michael finds out that Kyle was sexually abused by Kinlan. When Michael tries to confront Kinlan, the therapist won't unlock the front door. Michael goes to the glass back door, through which he sees Kinlan pull a gun out of a drawer. As Kinlan places the barrel in his mouth, Michael yells at him to shoot himself, which the therapist does. On the other hand, Tommy kills a girl at a party because she wanted to have sex with him. At the same party, Tommy befriends Shelley and they become closer. Shelley tells Tommy about Kyle. From then on, Tommy uses the information in therapy sessions and manipulates Michael, who more and more sees his own son in him. When Michael visits Tommy's father in prison, he finds out that Tommy's mother misused the boy as a lover and slept with him regularly. This is the reason why the father, who came home early one day, bludgeoned the mother to death. In the last part of the movie, Tommy tries to make Barbara release him to an independent life. When she refuses, he pushes her through a glass window. After she crawls to a telephone and attempts to call police, Tommy beats her with a handset. He flees in a stolen car and, armed with a weapon, picks up Shelley from her mother's house and speeds away. Michael finds the severely wounded Barbara in her apartment. As she is being treated, Barbara warns Michael about Tommy's plan. Michael races to his ex-wife's house, narrowly missing the boy whom he chases. The boy's flight comes to an end near train tracks, where he holds Shelley at gunpoint. Michael confronts Tommy with what his mother did and Tommy surrenders the girl and the gun. At the last second, Tommy stops on the tracks, throws up his arms and awaits impact. Michael grabs Tommy and they fall away from the locomotive.
Tommy was obviously molested by his own mother. Tommy's mother misused the boy as a lover and slept with him regularly. The boy thought that it's okay because he has a romantic feeling for her mother. What he feels is called Oedipal complex. The Oedipal complex, also known as the Oedipus complex, is a term used by Sigmund Freud in his theory of psychosexual stages of development to describe a child's feeling of desire for his or her opposite sex parent and jealousy and anger toward his or her same-sex parent. Essentially, a boy feels that he is competing with his father for possession of his mother, while a girl feels that she is competing with her mother for her father's affections. The Oedipal complex occurs in the phallic stage of psychosexual development between the ages of 3 and 5. The phallic stage serves as an important point in forming sexual identity, which at this point, a child becomes interested to his or her own sexual organ.
So what is the process through which this whole complex theory works? In the early years of a male child, The dependency is completely on the mother, because of which most of the time spent by the child is with his mother. Here is when the sexual desire of the infant for his mother begins. The love for the mother increases with time during the early years of the child. When the child comes somewhere into his senses, he realizes that the father is the one who actually beds the mother, whereby he starts taking his father as a rival figure. There is always an unsaid threat posed by the father, the threat of castration, or the removal of the one's penis, because of which the child fears from him, though this is an imaginary threat. Also, if there is a sister to the male child, he imagines that the reason why the girl child lacks the penis is because she has been already castrated by the father for her excessive love for the mother. Now the male child starts developing in his mind fantasies of killing his father so that his rival to bed the mother is killed and he can take the father's place. Freud has precisely considered this fantasy stage as the Oedipus complex. How does Oedipal complex affects the cultural formation of men? Freud characterized Oedipus complex as loving and hostile wishes that children experience toward their parents at the height of the phallic stage. The phallic phase is the stage of psychosexual development occurring between the ages of 3 and 5. The decline of the Oedipus complex and entry into the latency period are related to the threat of castration for boys and the desire for a baby for girls. After puberty, the resolution of the complex happens through the choice of suitable substitute for the object of love. However, the Oedipus complex continues to be an unconscious organizer throughout life. It also forms an indissoluble link between wish and law.
In Tommy's case, his mother is sexually attracted to him. Studies suggest that children who feel uncared or lonely may be at higher risk for sexual abuse. Tommy hated his father because he wanted the attention of his mother for him. Tommy's mother made him believe that she is the only one who can love Tommy. That is why when his father killed his mother, Tommy became really mad at him.